Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate General Civil War, and today we're returning to our Union Let's Play of that game. We're in the middle of a campaign playing as the Union. Our character is General George B. Gamer, Lieutenant General in charge of our 1st Corps. We have John Gibbon and George McClellan in command of our other 2 functional corps. The 4th Corps under Hancock has no men in it. Even the 3rd Corps is kind of a shadow of a corps. But with that being said, guys, we are deep into this campaign. In our last video, we played the Battle of Chickamauga. We lost almost 20,000 casualties, but the enemy lost double ours, nearly 40,000. Additionally, we lost 17 guns. The enemy lost 85. We lost 900 cavalry. There, the enemy did a little bit better, losing only 655. Yet it was another victory in a nearly unbroken string of victories. I can't imagine how long ago the Civil War would have ended if we were in command, but just look at that. Battle after battle. Gettysburg, for example, just a few days ago, 20,000 casualties on our part, 42,000 on the enemy. 2nd Winchester, 5,000 of ours, 14,000 Confederates. Salem Church, 4,700 of ours, 7,100 of theirs. Chancellorsville, 26,000 of ours, 36,000 of theirs. The South would have been out of men by now. Fredericksburg, we lost 16,000. The enemy lost 21,000. Antietam, we lost 7,000 versus 18,000 Confederates. It has been a bloody war, folks, but we are no doubt on the winning side thus far, inflicting very frequently 2-to-1 casualties or roughly therein. We are going to go down in the history books as the most successful American general of all time. We have started issuing some more modern weapons. We are late into the war. We're in the Cold Harbor campaign. We're just about to start it up. The first battle is Brock Road, which is the wilderness, the Battle of the Wilderness. Somehow it's a minor battle in this game, but it is what it is. It's also the only minor battle I've seen that allows you to bring multiple corps to the field, which is interesting. I've never seen that before. Then we've got the minor battle of the Muleshoe, which again is another one of those. Really? It's a minor battle? That's the Battle of Spotsylvania Courthouse, where the Confederates and the Union slugged it out for, what was it, like 13, 14 days, or maybe 20, I can't remember. It was a long engagement in which waves upon waves of soldiers moved forward in human wave tactics, and the Union nearly broke through the Confederates, but Lee held on by the skin of his teeth. And then on to Cold Harbor. We're fighting it out on this line, as Grant says, all summer. And, you can see as we constantly shift over to the right flank, Cold Harbor brings us to the gates of Richmond. Presumably, if we win the Battle of Cold Harbor, we will then be in the Richmond campaign, or Richmond Battle, which is the final battle of the game. So we're coming up here on the conclusion of this campaign, but we've still got some tough fights ahead of us. Brock Road is what we're going to be fighting today. We may end up getting to Muleshoe as well, but certainly Brock Road. I don't know why they didn't just call it the Wilderness, maybe because that probably should have made it a grand battle, but all of these overland campaigns probably should have been, campaign battles should have been grand battles. Something like the Anna River would have been more appropriate for a minor battle. With that being said, we still have to do some rebuilding of our force. So offline, I rebuilt what was in the 3rd Corps, just these 3 brigades up to full strength. I also went ahead and rebuilt the 2nd Corps, largely with rookie troops. Most of these units didn't have enough experience, like we could effectively issue replacements without losing too much in experience. And we did also build out the 4th and 3rd divisions in the 1st Corps. Again, balancing between rookies and veterans to try and keep those units, 2-star units as 2-star units, 1-star units as 1-star units, but not spending an arm and a leg on reinforcements. You can see here we only have about 1,000 more reinforcements. I do intend to use 35 reputation to get 8,000 soldiers more, so we should be able to turn this into a little bit of a larger equipping of the force. The question is, where do we get the money to do it? You can see here we have $121,000, but if we just wanted to build, the standard full size for my units is 2,000 men. But if all we wanted to do was build out the Springfield Brigade to 2,000 men. It has 1,100 men right now. If all we wanted to do was build it out to 2,000 men, with rookies it would be 15,000 because we've got to buy some additional 1861 Springfields. If we were to buy it out with veterans, $79,000. That's almost all of our money. And then if we wanted to do that same thing with the Irish Brigade, again, $42,000. We could use up all of our remaining money between equipping the Irish Brigade and the Springfield Brigade with new weapons, and more so with new recruits to keep these units at their crazy high experiences. You see that 100, 100, 100, 100. These are just gigantic units in terms of experience. These are the old guard. And I don't want to, make them shitty just by like, look at how crappy we could make them. We could cut their experience in half by just going max rookie recruits, which I don't want to do either, because these are very effective units. But I think what we'll probably do is, in the case of the Iron Brigade, for example, we captured some Spencer repeating rifles, our first repeating rifles in that last battle, or actually we liberated them from our own troops who lost some substantial casualties. So what we could do is, we could go here, say, all right, let's spend 11,000 on some new soldiers. And then we can go ahead, and this unit will be basically a perfectly experienced unit, and we can throw those Spencers that we captured into the unit and make it a little bit of an undersized unit with really good weapons. So actually, why don't we go ahead and do that right now? The other alternative is we could sell the Spencers and get a whole bunch of money, but I'd rather go with the making one elite unit in our principal corps, in the Guard Corps. Let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna, I think, I don't remember exactly how many Spencers we have, but we can do it this way. We'll go ahead and, actually, first thing we should do is re-equip the troops, because we don't need to buy new weapons in that case. So let's go ahead and equip these guys with the Spencer. You see we've got 300 we could buy from the stockpile. We've got 1,027 in our inventory already. So let's go ahead and equip the 2nd Iron Brigade with these Spencer repeating rifles. When you think about like the old Winchester, the kind of crank-loaded rifle that lets you quickly shoot a large number of rounds per, before you have to put more ammunition in it versus a muzzle-loading rifle, the Spencer's obviously like having a machine gun. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You can see here we've got 170 more in stock, so let's go ahead and spend some money getting that up. So if we do that, we spend 11,000, we get 170 more without buying any of them. We have a 1,027-man brigade with repeating rifles. This thing is, even though they're only 1,000 men, just by doing that, they're going to be more effective than a 2,000-man brigade, probably almost like a 3,000-man brigade. They've got like a 3-to-1 fire ratio option, if you will. I'm kind of tempted to see, like, if we wanted to go ahead and buy more of these things, how much would it cost? You can see here we'd start losing some efficiencies if we were to increase the size of this unit, but we've got 329 in the shop that we could theoretically buy, but that would be kind of dipping into our reserves. The alternative is maybe making this first corps a little bit smaller in unit size. So maybe we just set these units to 1,500 men, for example. We can go ahead and set the Springfield guys to 1,500 men. Keep their, their really high quality troop. It's a little bit less expensive to do that. And then just kind of say, all right, the standard unit size is 1,500 men. We could do that. You can see here we still have $80,000 to re-equip some of these troops. We can get more troops with political points, which we'll probably need to do, but then we can't get more money with political points. We don't have enough to get both money and recruits with political points. We could also get some Spencer carbines with some political points, but we don't have enough political point. We don't have any option to buy just regular Spencers with political points. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the money on recruits, and I know I need to go ahead and issue some new division commanders here, so we're going to go ahead and put, let's do this. Winfield Hancock's a really good commander, and I'm just going to send Pegram. He's kind of a mediocre brigadier general. He'll command the 4th Corps for now, because there's no one in the 4th Corps. William Nelson will have just a random colonel, a cheap colonel, command the 1st Division, another brigadier general. We just freed up 2 really good brigadier generals in Nelson and Hancock. So Hancock will command the 1st Division. He's one of my favorite generals of the Civil War as well. So putting him in charge of that 1st Division is, makes me happy. We'll go ahead and put Nelson in command of the 2nd, or actually we'll put Post in command of the command of the 4th Division. Can't remember if I had any other divisions that were without commanders. It doesn't look like it. So we've got one more brigade or major general, but we've got Stanley's brigade we can go ahead and assign someone to. So we're going to have a overqualified general in command of I guess Nelson's brigade now. We've got a lot of major generals commanding brigades. That's kind of the weird thing about this game, is you've got a lot of really, they rank up quick. So you've got incredibly qualified guys commanding units that are well below their expertise. They're overqualified. All right, so marksmanship training for Ector. We'll go ahead and give the Black Hat boys some additional sharpshooter training. We'll give Greg's artillery some shooting training, which increases firearms and accuracy. And that it? Do we have any other troops that need some perks here? Yeah, so I think we'll leave these guys kind of roughly as is. We'll go ahead and build out some of the other units in the core. So I've already kind of maxed out where Price, Gavin, Pledson, Caldwell are with relation to, you know, if we give them any more rookie replacements, then they'll fall from a 2-star, for example, to a 1-star brigade. So the rest of these guys kind of need some recruits, but they don't have. They're going to need veterans. So we'll do that. Let's see. Do we have any other unit that has? Do we have any other weapons that have 2,000 in the armory that we can just swap out and just no? So we're gonna have to buy weapons no matter what. So I guess we'll just kind of keep this unit with the Lorenz. Gavin's brigade has Springfield 1855s, so it's a little bit. So we'll have those in stock. We can go ahead and get these guys up to 2,000. Pleasanton will get up to 2,000. And Caldwell get up to 2,000. These guys are a little bit cheaper because they're not quite as experienced. So their replacements aren't quite as expensive. With that being said here, we've more or less built out the first corps. You can see it's a little bit smaller because of this first division being smaller. The second corps is at almost 40,000 men. We still have 6,000 replacements that we can go ahead and assign. We have $21,000 that we can spend. I don't intend to equip anyone with palmettos, so I'll go ahead and sell those off. We have a few units that have 1842 Springfield, so we'll keep those in stock. Same for the M&Js. Texas Tylers, I'm not going to equip anyone with, so we'll sell those off. And I think we'll probably keep the rest of these guys as is. We've got 60, 1861 Springfields, so let's go ahead and give these guys 60 replacements, bring them up to 1560 in terms of their manpower, use all those guns and troops that we have there. And I'm still kind of tempted to, you know, we've got 329 more troops that we can use. We need a little bit more money to actually use that, to max this unit out at 1,300 men. But it is kind of a tempting proposition. Let's see here. What else do we have? Anything else we can sell? I'm not going to use the hunters. I'm not going to use the sharps. We're going to keep those Spencer carbines there. Not going to use sawed-off shotguns. Or Confederate Enfield carbines, cavalry carbines. We've got a lot of artillery, too. You know, I'm not going to build a whole bunch of new artillery batteries, so let's go sell off the James. There's 4 of those. We get $8,000 for that. I do kind of want to keep the 10-pound ordnance and 10-pound Parrots in stockpile, because we may want to build some more artillery batteries before the final battle, but we'll at least sell 6 of these. We don't need more than 24, because that's kind of the max battery size. We'll keep some Napoleons in reserve for casualties. Same for the 12-pound howitzers. We'll go ahead and sell off 3 of the 6-pounders. We'll still have 4 in reserve. And just like that, you can see right there, we've got $69,000 again. We also have 6,800 recruits. So I'm going to go ahead and build a few new units as well. So I haven't done this before. I'm debating if I want to do cavalry with the Spencer repeaters or if I want to do skirmishers with the Spencer repeaters. And by the way, someone did mention that the you get morale boosts for having high reputation. I know it's important, but I need those recruits more than I need the morale at the moment. Let's see here. We've got 1 melee cavalry regiment with Remingtons. We've got another with Colts. I think we'll go with a skirmisher unit then. So let's do that. We'll go with a skirmisher unit. We're going to go ahead and equip that skirmisher unit with Spencer carbines. We have 370 of them, 375 of them. And then we actually have a few slightly lower ranked officers that we can go ahead and give command as well. All right, what we're going to do, let's have 200, I'm going to have two 250 men, two 250 men skirmisher units is I think what I'm going to go with, each armed with Spencers. So they're going to be really inexperienced, so hopefully they're still effective at combat, but they should be kind of on the periphery of combat, so hopefully they're still able to fight well. All right, and they're both going to be commanded by captains, because I guess that seems the appropriate rank, and we have a few captains in charge, or in our forces. So again, two skirmish units, each with 250 men, which are going to be armed with Spencer carbines. We'll need to make some room for these guys in each of our corps, because I'd like one skirmisher unit per corps. I think what we'll do is the 4th Division here in the 1st Corps has a couple of units that are over 2,500 men, so we'll go ahead and put them in there, or one of them in there. And then the 2nd Corps, does it have a 2,500 man unit? Yes, it does, in the 3rd Division. So we'll go ahead and take that Stark's Brigade, and we'll put them in the 3rd Corps. We'll go ahead and put the skirmishers in the 2nd. And there you go here. We've got a skirmisher unit in each corps. We've also got cavalry in each corps. So we've got 1,500 cavalry between the two corps, 500 skirmishers between the two corps. Slightly smaller in terms of manpower, but I think the efficiency gains are going to be worth it. I could go with more cavalry, but I'm just not sure it's that important in the upcoming battles because they're so heavily entrenched and because they're taking place in wood lines and things like that. So we'll see. With that being said, that also allowed us to expand the size of the 3rd Corps without really spending much or doing much. You can see they went from 6,000 men to 10,000 men. And that's some progress there as well. All right, so the 3rd Corps now has almost, well, yeah, it has one full division. The 1st Division is fully built out. The 2nd and 3rd Divisions just have an artillery battery. So let's go ahead and add some additional infantry units there as well. I think I'm happy with the composition of each of the first two corps. It gives us a little bit over 70,000 men between the 1st and 2nd Corps. The 3rd Corps, let's see here, what do we have in the armory still? We could raise another cavalry brigade with some palmettos. We don't really need the artillery. Infantry weapons, we've got M&Js we can't buy any more of, so I don't really want to have an 1,800-man brigade. We could probably build a brigade of Harper's Ferries and a brigade of Springfields. So let's go ahead and do that in the 2nd Division. Infantry, or might as well, I guess, just go with a full 2,500-man brigade then in that case. Give it a brigadier general, and there you go. It's got bad weapons, but it's got a lot of men. Meanwhile, we'll go ahead and add another infantry brigade with, are they Harpers? Is that what we had in stock? Oh, but damn it, the Harpers, we can't buy any more of these damn things. Alright, I guess we'll go with a slightly understrengthed brigade, given we only have 1,608 of these Harper's Ferries in stock. You know what, screw that, I'm going to keep those where they are, because we've got units with Harper's Ferries that we'll probably lose casualties on. So maybe we just leave this as is. We can't bring the full force into battle anyway, so the 3rd Corps is kind of just a holding force. We're going to have to shift some troops from the 1st into the 3rd as well, just because we don't have, again, we don't have the manpower, or we don't have there's a stacking limit in the upcoming battle, so we can't bring all of our forces to bear anyway. So I think we're about good there. I think we're about ready for the battle here. So let's go to battle map. Let's go to Brock Road. Go ahead and hit start. You can see here we can bring 25 brigades in the assault force, 15 brigades in the reinforcement force. So I want to pick out those 15 brigades that we're going to bring as reinforcements. So let's go back to camp and let's go ahead and move troops out of that newly built or newly reinforced 2nd Corps and figure out what we want. So the 1st Division consists of 6 brigades. The 2nd Division consists of 6 brigades. So that's 12 right there. We can bring 3 more in the 3rd Division. And what we're going to do there is we're going to go ahead and bring, we'll just bring 3 infantry brigades. We'll bring the 2,500-man brigade, 1 skirmish unit, and a 2,000-man brigade. And I think that about does it there. So that's a real quick reorganization of the force. Allows us to go back to Brock Road, And you can see here the enemy will have about 54,000 troops, and we will have just shy of, for whatever reason it says you can have 25 brigades, but I can't, there's no ability to have another additional brigade in our first corps, so we're going to be 1 brigade shy. We'll outnumber the enemy by about 11,000 men. They've got more artillery, and we'll see how this all works out. You can see here it looks like we'll be assaulting through an open field. The enemy's going to be in wood lines, so flanking is going to be important, and we'll see how this all works again. Actually, sorry, I don't mean to redo this yet again. I think I shifted my cavalry into this, didn't I? Yeah, I want those guys in the 2nd Corps. So we'll go with a few fewer infantry to have that additional cavalry brigade, because if we're going to be in this kind of really rough assault terrain, I want to have some troops that help me scout out where the enemy is so we can go around their flank. Alright, so with that being said, I'm going to do one more thing. I don't want those cavalry to be in the reinforcements. I'm sorry, guys. This is a bit of a cluster. So we're going to go ahead and move some of the troops out of the 3rd Division, put them in the 2nd Corps, and we'll go ahead and move those 750 cavalry into the 1st Corps. So again, we've got the bulk of our striking power with cavalry is in the initial troops that should arrive. So we've got 1,500 cavalry that can help scout around the enemy front. Still same number of troops, but you can see here now, instead of an 11,000 man advantage, because we did replace one of those infantry brigades with cavalry, we've only got about 63,000 versus 54,000. I'm still hoping it's enough, but we're on the offensive, so it could be a tough fight. One of the other things worth calling out for these battles is these are interesting battles. These are the first minor battles that really give you a huge gut punch if you fail to win. You lose 20 prestige for just a draw. You lose 35 for a defeat. You only gain 5 for a victory. So they basically penalize you as if they're grand battles. Like if we go over to, well, not quite as bad as Cold Harbor, but some of the early grand battles, this is roughly what you lost if you lost the battle, but you don't gain any prestige for winning these fights. You just lose a whole bunch for losing them. So we'll have to go from there. All right, guys, I am actually seriously going to go in and fight now. So we're going to go ahead and assign these troops. We're going to go ahead and get ready to go. So on we are to the Battle of the Wilderness. In this game, it's called Brock Road. Our army is participating in the major offensive in the area known as the Wilderness. Elements of our army are seeking to engage with Lee's isolated force of A.P. Hill's Corps at the intersection of Orange Plank Road and Brock Road. You can spare 1.5 corps for the assault, and it is expected that you will outnumber your enemy. Move your troops carefully through the forest and dislodge A.P. Hill from his position. Okay. Alright. Go ahead and start. General, it seems we outnumber the rebels and their brigades are scattered in the woods trying to exploit the good cover behind Brock Road. Okay. March down the Orange Plank Road and attack the rebels. Well, that's pretty straightforward, I suppose. The question is, how do we want to do it? The north looks like it has a little bit better cover. You can see here we'd have to advance over this open field. I'm guessing they're in these wood lines, so that'll make that a dicey proposition. I think maybe moving the majority of our troops through this wood line here, it'll give us some cover, and then move and flank around this way. That would be kind of my assumption. We can use this roadway to sweep wide and hopefully flank them there. The Iron Brigade is our brigade that has the Spencers. Alright, so this whole 1st Division here, Nelson, any of these guys below 2,000 are very good troops. We'll go ahead and stack up Price, Caldwell, Hodgkin, and Iverson as kind of the initial assault force on the left. Nelson, Vaughn, Cabell. I don't know why I shifted him. Yeah, they'll be on the flank too. Lynch. So we're going to have a few troops that are going to advance kind of frontally-ish just to sort of pin the Confederates. We'll probably peel off skirmishers as well. And then we'll go ahead and swing the majority of our troops around the flank. I'm just trying to make sure we manage who is where. And hopefully this strategy works. I don't know how much time we have either. Okay. Deploy. These guys are going to advance to the edge of the wood line. So we'll deploy some artillery to the front as well. We'll have 2 of our batteries to the front. 2 will go around the flank. The main reason I'm deploying a heavy amount of artillery toward the front is they take a little while to get set up and they're slow to move. So if we can use those troops as kind of to help pin the rebels, then I think that we're golden. Okay. This fight only allows 2 corps, not 3. Additionally, we're going to scout the enemy out with some cavalry over here on the flank. And the Irish Brigade goes over here as well. We'll have Hooker in reserve just in case they try and push forward. Alright. So, let's start, but then instantly pause, so we can go ahead and issue orders. Our cavalry under Latimer is going to sweep wide. They're going to kind of be our eyes and ears, as they should be. They're the cavalry, that's their job. They're going to sweep wide around this flank into this open area. Williamson will also go with them, sweeping a little bit more shallow. The troops in the front with the artillery, so Nelson will move here to the edge of this wood line. Caldwell, or Cabell, will move here to the edge of this wood line. And Lynch will move a little bit off to the left through this wood line here. We'll deploy some skirmishers forward from them as well once they kind of get closer into position. And we'll deploy some artillery forward with them also. So these guys will move into the open and go there that way. All right, so the cavalry already has their orders. The infantry will likewise move through this open area. Okay. Hodgkin. And Iverson. I'm curious where our reinforcements will come in either. Skirmishers will move more directly through this wood line. Artillery will move wide as well. Maybe setting up in this kind of crossroads. You know, maybe we can lure them into the fields in front of us. I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. But there's nothing for them to attack there, so I guess I'm hesitant to do too much to do that. We'll go ahead and move Mahone as well this way. These roads are going to get damn clogged. I think that's going to be a challenge, as it does seem clogged roads impact results. So we'll kind of leave our elite division here just for a little bit and move the other troops around the flank. All right, so we're leaving our first division in reserve here, kind of. Vaughn, go ahead and move forward here. The elite division is in reserve, if only because if the enemy does move forward into this wood line, I want to be able to respond without being totally caught off guard. Let's actually move Gavin over here a little bit. And I also don't want to get clogged over here either, because, again, you definitely, if you've got too many troops moving through a narrow area... Oh no, no timer, you know what that means. I'm guessing no timer means that, essentially, we can do whatever we want. Once we capture the woods, there will be some event trigger. I do have cavalry, guys. 2 over here. Brigades of cavalry. But I'm guessing what that no timer means is we basically can do what we need to take the objective, but then at that point we're going to get counterattacked. That would be my assumption. Right. Okay. Okay, so we've spotted some enemy troops. All right. So we've got enemy cavalry here around the flank. I'm just kind of scouting out. Looks like their line probably ends here. Let's go ahead and pause. All right. Swinging wide. I think what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and actually deploy a little bit more of our troops up front. We'll swing some skirmishers in there as well. We'll kind of probe them up front, heavy on their left. And kind of overwhelm them over there. The main question is, where do these rebel reinforcements come that we know are going to come? All right, Hooker, you can go over here. All right. Skirmishers, get back there. All right, don't chase yourself into the enemy line of battle here. So we've driven off some enemy skirmishers. We can say we've spotted some strong enemy infantry brigades in this wood line. So our goal's got to be to roll them up, essentially. Oh, feel bad for that skirmisher unit. Like, oh my god! What's happening? Alright. I think we'll deploy Pleasanton here to the front. Rice will go here. These skirmishers are going to sweep wide. I'm going to use their speed to advantage. Iverson, you're going to swing more in here. These guys are in really good, or not really good, but they're in decent cover here. The skirmishers are pretty much in the open. As we wait for our troops to get into position. It's kind of a waste of artillery, you gotta think, though. And probably ammunition, but right, Nelson, move back a little bit, getting a little bit better cover. Gavin, you as well. Springfield's this way. Black Hat's in reserve. Iron Brigade swing. Nelson swing. Irish Brigade here. So I don't know if they're going to advance. There's certainly an enemy general that's kind of moving forward. Just the third. Whatever the hell that is. Alright, Caldwell, you go over here. Mahone, you go over here. And Iverson, you go over here. Artillery, move a little bit closer. Cavalry, swing this over this way. Cougars over here. Alright, we're almost in position, guys. Yeah, R.I.P. Third. That's his name, Third. Can I tell you not to shoot and waste ammo at these guys? Oh my god, you've already eaten through a lot of ammo. I really don't want them wasting a whole bunch of ammo on just a random officer. Can I tell them not to shoot? Hold fire. There you go. You two, hold fire. Wasting ammo. Alright everybody, that's gonna do it for this video. I know we're just starting the Battle of the Wilderness, but we've equipped our force, we've outfitted our troops and moved them into the battle. We've begun feeling out the enemy, begun sweeping around the enemy flank to hopefully crush their forces. With that being said, this is a good stopping point. We're about halfway through in terms of my recording of this battle. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here at first contact with the enemy, and we will resume here tomorrow. Anyway, guys, I hope you're enjoying the video and the series as always. Please feel free to leave comments and thoughts below. But until next time, guys, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.